Hi everyone, it's Jen from Mind's Eye, and we're gonna do the weekly update. So today is one of those days where everything went fine and everything went well, but you really couldn't like dwell or sell anything, and you couldn't even get anything done at the end. But really, you had to sit there and you had to cry about it to get your own way, and even up to like a protein shake to a milkshake to get anything done, to the glass of milk to which it spilled, and then you have to say, you know what, just go cry about it because I'm just DONE with everything that's going on in the media and everything else of that. Because you just can't even see the sun. You can't even be like, get anything done to be everywhere. Because, as we look at society, it still wants us to have like these unrealistic expectations per se of you come home and you've worked 8 hours and then you got to work another almost 8 hours cleaning your house. I mean, what's real? So basically, all you need to know what is real is with everything that happened with the Potomac, everything that happened with how it played out. Like we had another aircraft go down in Alaska. We haven't seen much go on. The big surprise was the dismantling of the Board of Education. We all figured something would kick back about the buyouts, about law enforcement, and anything else on the federal side. Anything else on contractual matters, you just can't even see the sun. So basically, the storms are just like going through and just going through, and you just can't even do it done. So when I see this on a table and I see this and it's the Six of Pentacles, you go right like completely into it, completely. I mean, the Six of Pentacles is like this deal on the table is coming through. And you're not supposed to know, and you're not supposed to do, and you're not supposed to sue anyone, but it's right there in front of you. So when you actually look at it and you actually go through, you can't even be it whatsoever. So this is why it's really, really hard. So when I'm looking at it, and we're gonna talk with Seashells. Seashells is asking, I'm feeling like my home is just no longer fitting me. What do you see a move soon, hopefully at the end of this month? I do see a move, but I'm seeing by August you're more settled. Going back, it has to do with like bad judgment all around. And it could be maybe someone was sick. Maybe someone actually did criminal activity. Maybe someone had hidden motives. You just don't know. But there is like offers coming through. It's really movement of energy. This is the magician. This is really hard. It really is hard. So when I see this and I see the moon, you have to say something else is going on. So when I see the moon and it's a mystery, and I see the magician and I see the ones, it's saying take care. Take care. And this is going in lines with the weekly update. There's something coming in next week where everyone says, in all places and in a lot of like personal lives, of it came towards me, it came true, it was good, and you know what, I will let you know when it's time. So when I look at how it plays out for you and others who may be looking at moving on in a positive way, or maybe it's coming in through as a negative way, it's really talking about keep some plans to yourself, because whatever is coming through because of aircraft, because of the weather storms, because of the way politics is already playing out, it really has to go like about. It has to go about. So when I see this and I see the Ten of Wands, if you don't heed it, more ways than one, of like heat, of like HEAT and then HEAD and HEED. It's an odd way to spell heed, but you'll get the point soon. It's going to cause difficulty. It's a burden almost. It's sometimes like when you go and you encounter certain people and they say to you, like, oh, I'm gonna move, or I'm gonna have a relationship, or I'm gonna have this, and they go, well, I really shouldn't, and you go, I already know, yeah, I already know you're gonna say it. So when I see this in the Three of Pentacles in reverse, there'll be like no teamwork on the table. There'll be no paperwork on the table if you don't get it right on their terms. So when I see the Nine of Cups, it really is an emotional offer. It really is a push forward on whatever comes in next week. But in reality, it really is too young of an offer. It's too much. It's not solid. It's not like solidified. It's not like sitting and making it solid. There's something about that when you actually do a proper contract or anything else. It really has to sit a little bit longer. So when I see the Page of Pentacles, too young, it really is still going to go forward. But when I look at this, there is nasty justice coming through if it does come through. There was something about last night's Be It Be where we are trying to chisel away on what this like occult energy of hidden obscurities and absurdities is coming through, that you just can't even, like, you have to almost block it because it's too hard of a slam. Now, when I see this and I see the world, I do see the collective for next week. I do see completed out. But when I see this and I see the Empress in reverse, it has to do with a type of sorcery of energy, of movement of energy, whatever is moving around to cause this like family discontent, because you just can't even. I have to agree with you. I read it really quick. Impatient. There's a lot of people impatient. They're waiting for moves. It's gonna hit so hard. There's something about the end of February through March where everyone's going, oh my God, I gotta do it. I gotta do it. I just don't know what it is, but it just keeps going. Unknown dates and unknown year. We get dates, but I really see it. Whatever it is, it really hurts. It really hurts next week. It's about, like I had said, I almost want to say, is it like a selling of oneself? They're like, no, it's discontent, and it really is, with this Queen of Pentacles in reverse, a type of dishonor. And I'm looking at the courts, and I'm like, are you sure? Are you positive? I don't know about this. This Page of Cups is really like, I see a hard Wednesday coming in, and they come in and it's young and it's a very emotional, and they say, here's a flower and a candle and let's do. And when I see this and I go, the Two of Wands comes in and goes, no, we've been watching this hard and you can't do it done whatsoever. And you go, no, yeah. When the King of Pentacles goes, no, whatsoever. You gotta actually say, there is something about this King of Pentacles by that Wednesday, but it's really a Tuesday to a Friday that is like a this that goes, no, you gotta. This 10 of Swords in reverse is the alleviation of something. It really has like security, monetary. But then I see this, it's meant to alleviate a struggle, but this is the undercut to the uppercut, this Page of Swords, where I said, watch the soil. When I see this and I see the High Priestess, it really is a hidden motive. You're not to see it. It won't come in for weeks. It really will cause this type of thing where next week, for this weekly update coming in, you actually can unsecure like inheritance, whatever is seen and heard, because it is strong, whatever comes through. very, very strong. Now, it does alleviate disappointment, but when I say that this Five of Pentacles comes through and it's so nasty where it goes here, it's just right there on a table, take it. It goes confirmed. It's like money, jobs, and I hear revenue, but it's not revenue. It's like Revue. I haven't seen that word. It's like something with the Civil War. Breaking of partnerships, breaking of relationships. That's not really good for Valentine's Day. It really is not. So, with that being said, let's look a little bit deeper. Little bit deeper. Right here, the Wild Unknown Tarot. Here we go. What else do we need to know? So right now it's the 7th. Let's look at the calendar a little bit. So the 9th, I see nothing. On that Monday, it had to do with a coin toss. And then the 11th is a quiet. Wednesday is like a war. Thursday is like everyone's going to church. And then like the 13th, like Wednesday, Thursday, church and going to war. And on Friday, like everyone's having a family meeting about something. On Saturday, it's just go about and just go shopping. Just go shopping and get whatever you need. Because it's just so nasty. It's so nasty. It's almost comical. This one is actually saying, with all that coming through, the Father of Pentacles in reverse, it does. It really has something about like securement with money, but then it also has secure, like it's so clear with greed. With greed. So when I look at this and I see the Moon in reverse, it really is illusional. It really is delusional. It really is how you need it and how you take it. But really, it's this Three of Pentacles and it's Three of Wands. When I'm seeing this back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, that you just can't even show up yet. It's just not clear on how it's done. It really isn't. I'm like, it's really easy. Just sit and listen. Just sit and listen. Daughter of Cups. There's like a lack of like aptitude. I hear aptitude. So it's going right into the school. Right into the school. Daughter of Cups is saying that when it comes through as far as the school, and I'm seeing that, it really was attitude about this issue with the school board. The Five of Wands is the attitude came like along and it had to struggle. When I see this and I see the Six of Pentacles in reverse, the deal was like off the table and like you couldn't even see it coming whatsoever. When I see this Two of Swords, it was nasty, absolutely nasty. So when I see it come through and how it all played out with all these events and what is coming towards and taking place, that you just can't see what's coming, but whatever it is, it's nasty. It is nasty, but it's secure. It's like polar opposites with these decks. So you got greed, but it's not greed. And then you got, securement. And then you got selling of oneself. And you're like, I think this is where the storyline is. This Mother of Pentacles is really the Queen of Pentacles, and it sits well. Like they're sitting happy. Like, yeah, I know. I got it. Three of Swords in reverse. It really is more the harsher where it hurts both sides. It really hurts. The Ten of Pentacles says, You can't even make it up. You just can't even make it up. In reverse, loss again. That was the true energy. Loss of inheritance, all forms of the meaning. All right. Let's go to Animal Spirit Oracle. What do we need to know next week? All right. When I see Earthworm in reverse, it really is disgusting. And it really does have to do with like actual environmental science. It's it. When I see this and I see this again, like dolphin play, I have to hear like radio frequency. When I see deer in reverse, I have to say it really is not hunting, but it really is like good. It's something green. So when I see earthworm, dolphin, and then deer in reverse, you can't even, it's being blocked. Being blocked. You're not to know it. It's right there though. Blocked right across the eyes. You're not to know it. This hummingbird in reverse, there's no messenger. There's nothing. Like you can't go hunting or anything. This peacock really is a known. It's a known. Cobra in reverse. There's no sting. There's no stand up. It's a sit and stand still. Otter. This is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting what came through. This is like all over the place in the collective. Little here, little there. When I'm seeing this, it has to do with a new beginning, a lamb. When I see the bear, there is no hunting, there is no gold, there's no pentacle, and there really is the woods, but really it's like a bear like walking along the stream. And when I see the snake, I see a coil up of a rope. And when I see the frog in reverse, I see something of a nastiness. It's like a reversal of like a poison or a venom. So what would actually go that heinous and hard, like harness so hard in the whole collective? In the whole collective, it really was disgusting whatsoever. That you have to look and like, how is this related to all the plane crashes, a football game, the presidential election, and everything else, and how it's all playing out, where it affects us so bad in our household, where we're saying, I'm trying to make a decision, but I can't make a decision whatsoever. I'm really trying here. It really has to do this lingering energy of horse. And this horse in this picture is so haunting that I have to say it's like a like they keep showing me a gelding, and when they show the gelding, it's so like spook and ghost like. It haunts you in a vision. It's disturbing. The nightingale though, just to end softly, you can hear the song though, and it helps alleviate a little bit of an issue. When I see this, when I see whale, look at the bigger picture of what's going on. And I'm hearing just focus on the health and welfare and safety. Always your morals and your ethics. All right, Akashic Tarot. Here we go. What do we need to know? Here it is. The two worlds in reverse goes so far back where you can't understand it, where it is a difference in opinion, but it's one world. One world. When I see this and I see the King of Forces, I see the actual wind current, and I actually see how energy is being flown everywhere. And when I see this, the clearing of the way, there really is no clearing until you actually are sitting in your house with an air purifier. So when I look at this and I say diversity coming through, it really is. And this is more of a political term. This is where bipartisan is really hard, really hard. When I see on track, I'm actually seeing how they travel, and it's known down in DC between the buildings and the tunnels. So when I look at this and I see the Akashic Library, there's like something not written. And then I go right back up to Salem, Massachusetts, and I'm seeing that cemetery. What is with that cemetery and that gate? So when I see this and I see everything, you can't understand, but until you actually see it and you sit well with it, you go, there's like something about summer and winter. You look at this cemetery where it has like a wrought iron, and it goes like, why in a fall it goes away. Views of the ego, there's something about chemistry with iron, especially certain types of iron, that make things go away. So how does that actually go into like plain language with how it would play out? I would say stick to your schedule next week. I would say stick to your normalcy next week and watch the news. Watch the news. You're going to feel it all of a sudden. When you see this and you see the scribe in reverse, don't even worry about like writing a note to remember, because this willow card in reverse is going to make it almost like blow away. Like if you wrote it down, it's going to make you forget it. I don't know what it is. The winged messengers, something elemental. I see copper, but I see more mercury. When I see this in crescent moon also, it's coming through. It's coming through. I feel like it's almost an early onset of a full moon. Add some in reverse. There's no continuance on. So I hear like the energy is like a block. The muse, the way that this cherry tree is in this picture, really shows like a blossoming of something. All right, let's go right to the poker cards. What's going on with politics as this all goes about? So right here, this is kind of odd for it to happen, but the King of Clubs and the Eight of Hearts means it's a go to close. Go to close. Nine of Diamonds, it goes, you can't cut. You can't cut. Ace of Clubs goes, it was so in your face like this, politics, that you couldn't even see past your nose. Because the 10 of Diamonds goes, I got you. I got you. I already know what's going on, and I know exactly what to push through. I know exactly what to push through. It's kind of like dogsy. I hate to say that word. It's dogsy. All right. There's a difference of opinions on where to go. So when you actually flip it up, it goes right to the crystal quartz. Healthcare and medical next week. Just go about. Go about. When you go about, you have to say, look at everything. Look at everything. You can't even believe how nasty it was. How nasty it was. So when I actually do it completely and I see it go through, this whole thing comes through and goes, this starseed oracle is going to come right through. It's like it's straight intuition instinct. When you actually go and you actually see it, you just can't even be it. But really, when you look through it and you say, the pulse of the mother and slowing down in time and nature, I would say at this time for next week, is truly being by yourself and then literally looking and saying in your own body, nothing upon, nothing within. You know it. You're a clear sound mind. You're using your own words. You know people are not putting words in your mouth. And they go and they say, there's something about your house. Like it actually is clear. It's clear. When I look at this and I say, Star Family, you're part of a team of souls, call in support. You literally have to say that it truly is, because you just can't even understand whatsoever. It, like you go, yeah, I stuck to my routine. I did everything. But at some point, there's quite a few houses because of the way it kicks up and ticks up a little bit next week after like certain things. That is, all of a sudden you're just like, I already know what to do because I just did it. I just did it and I did the right thing. So when I look at this and I say, surrender, holding the opposites in extreme of life, there's going to be like polar opposites and you can't even explain what was going on whatsoever. So when I say frequency of sound and diving deep, there's something about music that comes through and you hear it and you go, caught it. When I see it too and I say new solutions, new beginnings, creativity comes in next week. Whatever it is. And it says creative accountability. Life is a canvas. Let me tell you, everyone is sticking to their routine and everyone is watching everything. And when they are getting creative, they are getting creative because you just can't even understand how bad it was. So when I look at it and I say, yep, go ahead and try that, you can't even believe it. There we go. Literary Witches Oracle. What else next week? So we got that. I'm seeing medical and I see a doctor and I see it like he puts his chart down and he's talking with the staff and I see something that is very like COVID like, but it's not, and it's not bird flu. It's something like a tick, but it's not a tick. And when you see it, you can't even go through. You can't even go through. When I see this, when I see toad, I have to say everything is like highly evaluated because it's almost like a grotesque humor. And this is some of the things that is. And it is a little bit of dishonesty. And it really is like a slinking around. Because when I look at it, it's almost like it's family. Why is this family if it's grotesque humor? And what it is, it really is pretty bad. So when I look at this and it is like a cooking up, there's like a memory of something that has to come through. A memory. When I see this, it comes at night, and NITE. So when you actually go through and you chisel away whatever you do for your spiritual practices, your religious practices, it's just going to come right in and right out, right in and right out. This is really hard, like by a Friday, by a 12 to a 2 to a 3, 9, 4, 2, 9. I don't know why I'm saying those numbers, but really it has to do with losses. Everyone sits all of a sudden like, why is this going through losses on a weekly update? It has to go with wool. And when I see wool, I'm going, yeah, but it isn't. It kicks it right out to another. So when I look at it and I see this, the glove, it is handed off, but really it's a white piece of paper with a glove like, and it goes, here you go, here you go. When I look at this, it seems like you're living in a fantasy, and it's not. It really is not. When I see this and I see solitude, let me tell you, there's something about being alone that literally shows everything off on what everyone is capable of, on how creative something comes through. I hear it fits the bill. It fits the bill. So when I look at this, let's look at the Pleiadian Oracle, because we do have a little bit of astrology affecting us next week. Here we go. There it is. When I'm seeing this, and it just is the only card that wants to come in, is called Galactic Core. So let's just sit for a second on that Galactic Core. It really has to talk about how resilient everyone is all throughout next week, and such hind to the grind, for a lack of a better term, because all of a sudden they do set their vibration to what they need it to. Here we go. Light Seers Tarot. What else are we going to get out of next week? What is going on with this weekly update? Here we go. Here we go. There's no moving on. It is a little bit of a lack of a better term, turbulent end force. And it's meant to be a mystery, but I'm looking at Alaska. There's something about Alaska, and me as a psychic, I'm like, why does this remind me of the Bermuda Triangle? There's something about this that will come out, and it has to do with a get together. When I look at this, it is a little bit of healing. It is a little bit of hope. It really is hard. It feels like a binding grind. And when I see it, I go, that's all you need to know. It really is. That is where it really picks up by a Saturday. There's no securement whatsoever monetary around that incident. Here we go. Let's look at the runes. When I see this canoe, it literally means it has to do with a torque. Everything that could mean torque in your life for next week. When I see this, I see a trolling. It's happened before in history, torque and trolling. When I see this, I'm seeing bow and arrow, and I'm seeing swords like this next week. When I see this, I'm seeing this, the defense is high, but really the offense, and it's showing me the ground. It's showing me the ground. When I look at this, they're stoic, hard, whoever comes through, and they're a little irritable and ornery and agitated on this. When I'm seeing this and I'm seeing living, it really has to come through. Are you sure you're alive or not? You're going to look at some of your coworkers next week and are you sure? I don't know, because it really it's is it lake effect snow? Did it slam you, that storm? When you see this and you see Nadis, It really, when something comes in at an NIT and it slams with energy like a winter storm or anything like that, people actually like look disheveled. It looks at, or when it's about to come in. I mean, they're already at least out here for in the next 24 to 72 hours, at least with the snow coming in. It was all ice. It's like all ice storm. And they're already saying, yeah, I think you need to check your flights already because there's something about coming in tomorrow night. When I see this, it has a lot of strength with this energy coming through. You can't even believe it whatsoever. Here we go. Here we go. Look at this one. This one is good. You can't even believe it. Here we go. So, when we're looking at this and we're looking out, and I'm seeing the way that even the tarmacs are, because it really is like it hurts seeing all these incidences. And I'm seeing it, and it's the way that the pavement is. And when I look at the energy of the pavement and how it relates to the collective, to even down to our home lives, that you just can't even understand how this cement deal comes through and it goes to the Knight of Cups in reverse, where you want to take everything away and just put it right onto the tarmac. And you can't even just like anything. So, when I look at this and I say, Buford Justice, I want to say I wish you luck to the highest degree of resolve, to the point of a dismay, to a point of anything. I mean, if you really think I'm making this stuff up, you can go and you can do a lax. But really, the lax is a nun. And a nun comes in and you can't even see it whatsoever. So when you actually see it to the highest point of a degree, and it really isn't fear mongering, and it really isn't, since we have to do our own monitoring, right? You just can't even believe it whatsoever. But really, this is why we say, what is this censorship? It is freedom of speech, but freedom of speech does come with consequences, sweetie. So when I actually look at this and I go, no, you just can't even make this stuff up. I mean, this woman is just yelling at me. That is the whole point of this aircraft coming in. And you say, this is no justice, but I got it out of me. I just know it. That is the whole point of it. Is it really a psychic, or did somebody put it in your mouth? So when I actually look at it, and I have to say, I just can't even believe that somebody would actually call me out. That is the whole point of it. And I really can. Why? It's my business. Per law and general statutes, I'm allowed to say, you interrupted me and you made me lose honorable money up to $450. Begin. So when I look at this and you're like, I just don't understand what that means. It really is when you sit there and you say, you are a person are worth more than just making stuff up, and you don't see anything. Find a nice person and spend your life with. Maybe write a book based on facts. This stuff just spreads nonsense amongst all us species. Are you an alien? Let me call immigration. So when I say that, and I have to say, I can't believe you said that on air. I can't believe you said that on live, because you're lovely. Just stop making stuff up. How am I making stuff up? You don't even know me. N-O-K-N-O and K-N-O-W me. So when I look at the Queen of Wands, and I have to say, that actually is the ill justice that comes in, that kicks up, that ticks up, and you look on the tarmac and you have to say, why is that like the Bermuda Triangle? Let's actually dig on it. It has to do with balance. Look at the way you walk. all forms of the meaning. When it comes to the Two of Wands, you actually can't even see it hard. Can't even see it hard whatsoever. So when I actually say it, and you can try to call it in more ways than one, that you just can't even sue it whatsoever. Not even to a Susie Q, to a cutie pie, to all of it. So the Two of Wands actually comes through, and you have to say, no, the moon cycle is actually coming through, and it's a Mercury retrograde. What is a Mercury retrograde? You don't even know. It really has to do with this type of inhibition. It has to do with this type of everything that comes down, where someone can just come up to you and run their mouth based on a look. And then you go, why do we have 5 airplanes with 108 dead with a snap? And you just don't know. You just don't know. But you know what? If it made you feel better getting it out and making a comment, then go ahead. I'm glad I made you feel better. So when I look at this Nine of Pentacles, was it prudency? No. Why? The Knight of Wands actually tells me that you were more than anything else to be a dismay. When I look at this, and I have to say, it's a good thing sometimes you would want to say, but this long pause, this hangman in reverse comes through on a whole thing of no completion of anything, that you have to do it out. When the Eight of Pentacles comes through and you look at the tarmac again, you have to look and say, it sold itself well. And that literally is how it ends on a Saturday next week. It sold itself well. So what is selling itself well? Is it actually dishonor? Or what is it? Maybe actually type it in. And that's all you need to know. Ace of Wands, that's why there's no beginning coming through, is because of lines of transference everywhere, going a kick up and a tick up, where you can't even do a boo of a goo of a loo of a moo of a shoe. I mean, you can't even be the Irish mob proper. It really has to do with this whole thing of a weather pattern that makes everyone sit there and say, I know better and I know best. There it was. We got it out. Finally, not after that. So when we actually look at it and you say, I'm going to file a complaint, there it is, finally getting it out. We're finally getting to the good stuff. You don't have an accent. No, that's true. But really, the Four of Cups in reverse means you just can't even do it anymore. You can't even do it. You can't even do it, which means you can't even do a honeydew melon. Why? That's a hate crime. And then when you actually look at it and you have to say, you can't put a due date on it. You're not allowed to do it because you don't have paper, meaning you don't have a certificate. And then you actually say, I can't even get a GI consult because I'm constipated, because the insurance won't let me do anything. So that's when we have to say, maybe we do need to have a weekly update. Maybe we actually have to sit and say, everyone said the arrest that shocks the world was coming in. That is true. A lot of people actually got put on a stay put order when it came to Sean Combs. That's all you need to know. So when I look at this, the Knight of Pentacles, it really comes back to all of it, where it is so hasty, nasty, that you go, this Ten of Swords is nasty in reverse, because this is what actually causes people to lose money. It's just by going into the store or the bank and in a blink, have a good day, and you go and you say, I can't believe it. I didn't know I was worth $50,000 because I was white. Welcome to racketeering. So it's still going on. We're still not clear from Sean Combs and Jay-Z and everything else. I do wish them the best of luck. It's not to be looked at because it's still an ongoing case. So when I say not yet, it means not yet. But really, it's this lover's card of this energy that's coming through that comes in so nasty at some point in an in-between block each day that you can't even believe how nasty it got. So when you actually look at consequences thoroughly of cause and effect, and there's no anything that comes through. So we're not blaming any politician. We're not blaming anyone at all. We're looking at every situation and like, why can't we actually make any movement whatsoever? That you just can't even see it whatsoever going through harder ever. I mean, I'll pay that $25 fine. I'm sitting as someone else because I was late, but really I was sick. I had other things going on. I'm sorry, but you're late, but you got to pay the fine. That's why there's no movement. But really I was sick. I just cannot understand. So that is where it is. That's really the relay of the delay to comb it through. So with that being said, if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and feel free. Again, we're allowed to say it on freedom of speech, and again, protecting my business any which way I am. I can't believe that was actually a premonition. So when you actually look at it and you say, leave a like and a comment and a share and an email, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Have a great week next week, and we'll see how it pans out on a roo of a do of a loo. We'll talk to you soon.